And hello, all my fellow nerds out there. This is Oracle Richie, and welcome back once again to Ace Attorney Phoenix Wright Truth and Consequences. Last time we found a bit of a plot hole in a few of the testimonies, and our theories our theories came a bit of a our theories didn't work. Let's just say that. And now we decided to we had no choice but to present the guest list because if we didn't present the guest list, then we probably wouldn't have gone farther in the trial. I don't know. We probably would have gotten some sort of alternate ending. But we have but we presented the guest list, and we're gonna be seeing the test cross-examining the testimony, or seeing the testimony for the bookings that Adrian Andrew knows. And if you guys remember, Phoenix Wright was very adamant that we don't have her on the stand, but we have no choice. So usually people book rooms online, but some people call. We try to set them up in rooms they would prefer, but we can't always do that. There were a lot of bookings for the Taiken Ball, but they were mostly online. I wasn't able to personally speak to every single guest before they arrived. Thank you, Miss Andrews. Mr. Justice, is this important? Very important, Your Honor. Okay, if you're sure. I have a feeling the judge isn't going to take us seriously unless he finds something quickly. Yeah, I think so too. If nothing else, at least Apollo will take the fall for this if something goes wrong. Cross-examination. Usually people book rooms online, but some people call. Hold it! Is it easy to book rooms online? Very. There's a form you fill out, and then you pay half up front. We've had a few no-call, no-shows, but Mr. Lord wanted to crack down on it. I can personally confirm I did my own booking online. It was easy. Anyone can do it. And have you ever had anyone book under fake names or something like that? We've had people book under false names before. Not sure why they would. False names? Well, that was a whole situation. It seems like a third party booked reservations for this group. Long story short, they decided to have fun with the names, and it got very confusing. Winner became the best, and winner the best, and that sort of thing. And so we cracked down on that too. Is this relevant, Miss Sykes? Not this part, no. You can keep going, Miss Andrews. Try to set them up with rooms that they would prefer, but we can't always do that. Yeah, okay, hold it. I feel like that should be important. Rooms they would prefer? Yes. If they require a specific room, we try to accommodate that. One guest wanted a room on the second floor above the ballroom, but those rooms were booked. That's odd. They looked wide open on the guest list. Were there any cancellations? One, but it was cancelled months before the ball, so I hardly think that matters. And how long was Mike staying there? He booked his room for about a week before the ball. He hauled all kinds of equipment up there. I wasn't sure he'd get it all out. And you say he was annoying the other guests? I received a few complaints that he was lurking, yes. But he was never disruptive. He left what I told him to without arguing. Do you think he left bugs? If I'm being honest, yes. I even found one in a plant. So he was there to bug the place. Interesting. And did anyone else point these out? I don't think so, no. I kept an eye out, but I didn't see another one. Do you think this has anything to do with the ball? I can't imagine why he would care about the ball. But he did book his room after Max Galactica. After starting to wonder if he booked the one next to it on purpose. You think he was spying on him? I don't have any evidence to back that up. It was just a feeling I had. Can you tell us more about the bookings for the ball? There were a lot of bookings for the Tekken ball, but they were mostly online. Hold it! Online? No, a few people called. I don't remember every single one. But they were done online. Who booked the first rooms for the ball? I recall a lot of rooms being booked by Miss Faye's family, if I remember right. Maya's relatives booked the first rooms. Interesting. Would you add that to your testimony, please? Of course. Most of the rooms on the second floor were specifically requested by Maya's family. Okay, wait, let me check the guest list. Okay, first rooms was Maya's Faye's family. Okay, well, guest list. Room number. Guest and then room number. So, wait, Maya, Pearl, and Phoenix. N.A. Yeah, but why were they N.A. though? Okay. Hold it. Did they request the rooms on the second floor? Yes, they did. I think they wanted to stay near each other. They said something about spiritual energy. I didn't understand it. And these were the first bookings? Yes, they were the first after Maya booked the manor for the ball. It made sense, of course. They were the ones most likely to come. Was this online? Yes, these bookings were online. It's harder to book that many rooms on call. But the others? Mostly online, some on the phone. I wasn't able to personally speak with every single guest before they arrived. Because they were mostly done online? Yes, I don't usually call guests directly unless there's some kind of problem. So they weren't any problems? No, not that I can think of. Why? Just trying to get a thorough understanding of how it all happened. There really isn't much to tell, Miss Sykes. It was no different from any other booking for any event. She's hiding something. You know she is. Apollo, I'm not going to attack her. There's still every chance she's innocent. Well, don't go easy on her either. Can you go 2 minutes without arguing? Lay off each other. Sorry. Me too. Now let's get back to our job, okay? Okay, so... What did... Bookings for a Tekken ball, but they were mostly online. Most of the rooms on the second floor were specifically requested by Maya's family. Wait. Most of them were Maya's family. Hey, wait. Wait, let's count them. There's Maya, that's 1. Pearl is 2. See, there's the D-Lights, Hawthorne, Landlord himself, Kay Faraday, Jessica, Penny, Lotta Hart, Monica Keys. Wait, but there are only 2 check-ins here. Wait, unless I don't remember I don't remember the others. But there are only 2 Faye names on there. Yeah, there's only 2 because there's Maya and then there's Pearl. Miss Andrews, there's a huge contradiction in what you just said. There is? Just look at the guest list. See anything missing? Missing? Yes, missing. Wait a second. Looks like you noticed it too, Miss Karma. Because you only need a glance at the list to be able to tell that Maya's relatives weren't staying at the manor. What? tell you, Andrews, how did you happen to overlook that? I was busy. There was so much to do. Busy? Too busy to notice that a bunch of guests hadn't checked in? Do you know how difficult it is to run an event you're also attending? I let some things fall through the cracks, but I saw Miss Faye's relatives there. I thought someone else must have checked them in. Someone else? Like who? Mr. Lord, Miss Sears? Anyone could have checked them in. And you didn't notice that they were all late at the same time? Who has that kind of eye for detail? They were booked for the night, weren't they? Besides, wouldn't they have come together if they were coming from Kurain Village? There's another problem. I happen to know Miss Andrews should have figured something was up. And how would she have noticed? Because her alibi was Maya's second cousin, Greta Lief. Oh yeah, Greta was Maya's second cousin. I forgot about that. Neither of you mentioned the manor once that night. Are you trying to accuse me of something? Admit it, Miss Andrews. You tampered with the guest list so no one would witness the crime. Wait, where'd she get the other glasses from? Wait, how many pairs of glasses does she have? Do you deny it? I didn't. Didn't what? You weren't in charge of the guest? You weren't in charge of the guest list? Well, no, but I... Miss Andrews, might I remind you that you're under oath? I didn't kill him. You have to believe me. Please don't do this. It wasn't me. This feels too easy. She might have tampered with the guest list, but is she a killer? Athena, what are you waiting for? Didn't we just say the person who tampered with the crime scene is that? Shut up, Apollo! I've got it. I don't need your constant input. This is my case, damn it. Stop trying to do it for me. Just trust me, okay? Fine. Do it then. It's gonna take a while for them to reconcile. Miss Andrews, there's more to the story, isn't there? I told you not to press her too harshly. I'm not going to. I'm not going to trust myself and trust the truth. Your Honor, Miss Andrews is in a significant amount of distress. I would like to perform the therapy session. A therapy session? Yeah, I think there's something she's not telling us. And I want her to feel safe while she's on the stand. Miss Andrews, I'm not accusing you of the crime. If you're innocent, you're safe here. I forgot she can do that. I completely forgot. You okay? Yes. Then let's do this. Oh, it's emotion time! Mood Matrix. Maya's relatives booked the rooms ahead of time. At the time, I thought nothing of it. I was completely normal reservation. Then they suddenly cancelled. I thought it was strange, but I didn't look into it. I know I should have asked more questions, but I was already busy with the ball. Anything stand out? I think this one is definitely going to be trickier. She's controlling herself pretty well right now. There's always something. Relatives did book ahead of time. Wait, then they suddenly cancelled. They suddenly cancelled. I thought it was strange. I didn't look into it. Miss Andrews, I can't help but wonder. Why weren't you surprised that those reservations were cancelled? I'm sorry. I'm going to exercise my right to remain silent. You what? This is too dangerous. I can't say any more. Dangerous? For whom? He's not saying anything, but I think I'm getting an idea of what's going on. There's one other way I can use the Moon Matrix, even if she won't speak. Your Honor, I'd like to do something a little different with the Moon Matrix here. Different? Yes, I have the idea. Athena, she's not saying anything. No, she's not. So I can't use my hearing. That doesn't mean I can't use my other senses. other senses? Just follow my lead. Can you trust me? Okay, I'll take it. Ooh, wait. Okay, mood matrix, let's do this. Can't use my hearing this time, but I can still see. All might not notice various ticks, but there's a subtlety to someone's expression he'd probably miss. Visual expressions aren't as strong as the vocal inflections, but I'm getting good at picking them up. The one thing that's harder to figure out is the intensity of emotions, so that'll be a bit off. The results aren't as accurate as my hearing, since inflections convey a lot more emotion. But if I say the right things, I can still pick out the emotion I'm looking for. All I have to do is ask the right questions. Now, let's see how she's feeling now. Oh, upset. Yeah, I figured as much. Okay. I just need to approach this delicately. Miss Andrews, there's something you don't want to tell me. And that's because you're protecting someone else. Someone else, isn't it? I thought that might strike a nerve. Her expression has changed now, which means I'm on the right track. Wonder who should we be protecting? Miss Andrews, is this the person you're trying to protect? Heaven, isn't it? You're trying to protect him. I mean, it makes the most... my thought process here is that it makes the most sense. Like, she doesn't want to lose Kevin, so she's trying to protect him. Well, that wasn't hard to figure out. Her poker face could definitely use some work. But given that we've proven Kevin wasn't the killer or the accomplice, does that mean she's involved in something else? Andrews, is the reason you're protecting Kevin has something to do with this? Wait. The journal Kevin accidentally switched with his belonged to Francis Dunbar, a famous historical... It has to be the journal, right? Because, like, that's the only thing I could think of. Do you think he's behind the forgery of the journal? I see. That makes sense. It is why he went to prison. He must have gotten this idea from somewhere, and I know it wasn't from Kevin. But who would have lied to her like that? Maybe someone else who has something to do with the journal? Or did she figure something else out? Miss Andrews, you got curious about the forgery, didn't you? I bet you decided to investigate, ask someone else? Ask someone, right? Ask someone about the journal to see if they knew something. Ooh. Whoa! Oh, she's a bit angry now. Whoa, I wasn't expecting those emotions. You asked someone you knew to be connected to the journal. Someone who would be able to tell you where they got it, perhaps. You asked this person, didn't you? I mean, the owner of the journal is Landon Lord, right? So, it has to be him. Mr. Lord, that's who you asked about this journal. Did he tell you Kevin was the one behind the forgery? Miss Andrews, did he threaten to fire Kevin if you told anyone about it? Or maybe to reveal that it was him? Oh. Yes. Yes. Alright, I'll see what we're all thinking. Are you really so hard up for a handyman that you'll let one get away with a crime? No, it's not just that. In fact, that's not it at all. Mr. Lord didn't threaten to fire Kevin. He threatened to expose him. Expose? I asked him about the journal, and he got very defensive. So you see, this journal is obviously a fake. It's a good fake, but any history buff would be able to figure it out. Wait. You know, I heard. Okay, wait. Some of this music. I've heard this song in this game multiple times, but I feel like the song was somewhere else. Don't worry about it. I'm already knowing this. You are? I are. So do not be asking the questions. Well then, why are you putting a fake on display like this? Because the journal is in the place of safety. In a safe place? Where? Mr. Lord, I sincerely hope that you're not implying that this journal is stolen. It's a very serious crime. This is an important historical artifact. I assure you it's safe, and it's legally hidden. Then we're going to need to take this to the authorities. If someone is out there making fakes, stop right there, Miss Andrews. I have this under control. I would turn around and walk away and keep my mouth shut if I were you. Because I happen to know that janitor you like so much has a criminal record. A criminal record for illegal art distribution at that. Say one word to the authorities, and I guarantee this journal will be traced back to him. You can't do that. He's trying to get his life turned around. He didn't forge this, I'm sure of it. Who do you think the authorities will believe? Mr. Lord, did you make this? You should really mind your own business. Is this how you made your money? Forging historical artifacts for the black market? You're a fraud. I'm not staying quiet about this. My check said the same thing. Mike? And unless you'd like Kevin to meet the same fate, don't say a word. Mr. Lord? Now, think we're done here. I'm going to be taking my leave. I don't expect you'll be able to track me down, so don't try. I have connections in high places, Miss Andrews. You don't want to get on my bad side. So keep that mouth shut and your janitor friend might just come out of this in one piece. So you see, it wasn't just about Kevin's job. I couldn't handle the thought of getting him killed. So Landon Lord is our killer. No, that's not possible. He's too tall. That makes him our accomplice. It's imperative that we bring him in as soon as possible, assuming we can find him. I agree, except now all we have to rely on is the testimony of Miss Andrews. Without any evidence, we cannot take her word at face value. Evidence. It all comes down to that. At this point, I can tell that this isn't about winning and losing anymore. I think, for now, Francisca and I are both on the side of justice. I knew there was more going on with this case. Yeah, but it all means that we're not looking at a typical murder case here. We're looking at some kind of conspiracy. And Mike got too close to it. You're close to it too, Athena. What? Don't forget they tried to discredit you. Yeah, they did. But why? I don't think we're going to be unraveling this one today. Not all of it, but I intend to answer as many questions as I can. Why was the guest list tampered with? Was that Mr. Lord's doing as well? I didn't think anything of it at the time. He told me to keep some of these rooms empty. I thought he was planning something, but I forgot about it until now. Miss Andrews, there is a part of your story I'd like to clarify. Did you say that Mr. Lord has left? Yes, I don't know where he went, and I was so frightened. Damn it, he'll be long gone by now. What do we do? We have no way of proving this except the witness's words. However, I'm inclined to trust her. Her alibi is airtight all evening. That means she wasn't the shooter, thus Lord found someone else to do his dirty work. He couldn't have done it himself, as he was too far tall to match the trajectory. And as I doubt, he would want many people in on his plan. We have no reason to doubt her. I agree, meaning the only way to prove Regina innocent is to find the real shooter. Regina has no connection to Mr. Lord. Unfortunately for you, there's no way to prove that. Despite talking in circles all this time, Regina remains the most likely suspect. You can't be serious! What about all that we figured out? What about it? You've only proven that Kevin wasn't involved. Regina is still the only person who could have done it. Unless you can find the real shooter and prove them guilty, we're done here. There must be some way to figure that out. What about process of elimination? Let's think about all the characteristics of the shooter. We can exclude people who are too old or too young to be able to shoot a gun. Because of an upward trajectory, the shooter would have to have been shorter than Mike by several inches. That means only anyone 5'5" or under would qualify, I think. Okay, wait. So we know for certain it can't be Regina. So anyone under 5'5". Okay. Adrian. The only person I could probably think of is her. This one, Connie-Artist. She's the only one I can think of. That means he was either a woman or Polly. I was with you all evening, in case you forgot. Great, we can take you off the list of suspects. Thanks a lot. Okay, so we know it was a woman. That narrows it down. That's a good start. Let's see what else. She had to have been outside at around 7 p.m. She also couldn't have been seen in the ballroom most of the evening. There must be someone who fits that description. Miss Sykes, would you like... You look like you want to say something. I think I might know who the shooter is. You do? Yes, at this point, only one person could have done it. Please tell the court who shot Mike Check. There has to be. She's the only one I can think of. It can't be Miriam. It's not Adrian. We know it's not Regina. And it's not Lotta Hart. The only person I can think of is Connie. The only person who could possibly shot Mike Check was Connie-Artist. That's not possible. She was in the ballroom. She was heard in the ballroom, but did anyone actually see her? Take a look at the diagram of what Prosecutor Gavin heard. Look at when Miss Sears would have been standing to be here. Why does that matter? Wait a second. I think I see what you're saying. It's because she's in the back, right? Exactly. If she was in the secret passageway, she could have yelled through the wall. Just creating an alibi. If we're going by that logic, Phoenix Wright is a suspect as well. Impossible. He's not much shorter than the victim, which means the trajectory doesn't fit. The shooter has to have been quite a bit shorter than the trajectory for the trajectory to work out that way. There's one other thing that proves it could have been her. Mr. Barnes says that he saw her outside taking a break at around 7:15 p.m. You say you checked outside. Sure did. Was there anyone outside at the time? Miss Sears was on her usual break, so she was out there. Not too weird to see her there. That makes sense, Miss Sykes, but you would have to prove she wasn't in the ballroom at the time, and that she knew about the secret passageway in the first place. Just get her on the stand and I can do the rest. No objections, Your Honor. I'd like to see where this goes. That makes sense. Yeah, I think it makes sense. Very well. The court will take a bailiff to a brief recess to summon Connie-Artist to the stand. Hammer. This is starting to near its conclusion. I can already tell this is starting to near its end. Defendant's lobby. So I see you decided to not follow my instructions. I see that it ended up getting us closer to the truth. Yeah, it did, but I'm not happy about it. I'm surprised you didn't just object then and there. I would have been held in contempt of court. Not my case. Not my rules. Yeah, but jeopardizing my job over it certainly wasn't fair. I wasn't going to fire you. So it was a bluff. Yeah, I guess technically it was. Why are we talking about this? Isn't the case more important? My thoughts exactly. Miss Von Karma? I am allowed to be here. I want a quick word. With all four of you, including my uninvited co-counsel. I sincerely hope you're not planning of sabotaging the case for a second win. Now is not the time to let egos get in the way of the truth. Regardless, I have a job to perform and I intend to perform it. And I expect you to act in a way that befits the side you're on, Simon Blackwell. You have been absolutely no help as of yet. I understand the job you must perform, Lady Frenzy, and do not tell me that if you don't want a taste of my whip. So, I'm confused. What are you saying here? Are you trying to lose? Don't be absurd, Athena Sykes. I never try to lose. But I'm saying that my days of trying to obscure the truth through less honorable means are behind me. I saw what the dark age of the law did to the justice system, and I want no part of it. Fairly obvious conclusion to draw, given that your career survived Edgeworth's purge. Purge? Miles held a rather thorough investigation to eliminate corruption. I assure you that he did not allow nepotism to get in the way of a thorough scrutiny. Given that I was passed with flying colors, perhaps you can stop being so suspicious of my integrity. Fair point. Okay. What do you want to discuss? I sincerely hope that you do not assume I will go along with your theories and speculations. If your clients are truly innocent, it is my job to eliminate all doubt, to ask the right questions. For then can a fair verdict be reached. So in other words, you're telling us to be on our A game. Rather colloquial way of putting it, but yes. Miles had to be reminded of what side he was on when he opposed you several months ago, I believe. You know about that? I read the transcript. He was rather an easy opponent. It was abundantly clear that he never truly believed Emma Skye was guilty. What I'm saying is, I will not allow myself to be swayed. I have a job to do, and I intend to do it to the best of my ability. So you came here to tell me that you weren't going to go easy on me? You catch on fast. You have been given quite a lot of leeway in the courtroom. I am not unreasonable, nor am I opposed to alternate methods. But make no mistake, I will not accept defeat until such time as it is inevitable. I believe that is all I want to say, so if you'll excuse me. You know, she's not so bad. When she's not wrecking me in court, no. That aside, you must prove Regina wasn't involved. Not that I'm complaining, but why are you being so helpful? Kevin's been cleared. Well, Kevin is very fond of this woman. I'll be a poor friend not to ensure she gets a fair trial. You want to be a good friend to him? That's so sweet, Simon. Will you stop saying that so loudly? Of course. You've got an image to maintain. You think it'll be much longer? I know they'll have to track Miss Search down, but she can't be that far. I'm sure they'll get her here, whether she wants to be or not. Do you think there's enough evidence? I think we can get her on something. Well, I hope we can. It could be a long shot. Maybe, but it's my only shot. I didn't do it. You have to prove it. I believe you, and I'm going to do everything I can to make the jury believe you too. Looks like they did find her. We're being called back in. So we are. Alright. We don't have time for a cheer. Come on, there's always time for a cheer. You know, hype us up. Makes people prepare for anything. You all suck, you know that? No cheer for you. Only Kevin can do something like that. Here we go. The court is back in session for the trial of Regina Berry and Kevin Lamb. Miss Sykes, do you have your witness? She's just outside. Let us not waste any time then. The members of the court call Connie-Artist to the stand. Ooh, this is gonna be good. It is an honor to be in this courtroom with all of you. Perhaps after the trial I can serve you dinner. You must be hungry. But that sounds wonderful. We better get through this quickly. Great. Apparently being swayed by the promise of food is a universal trait in judges. Yep. Please say your name and occupation. My name is Connie-Artist. I am the lead bellhop at Maryland Manor. Although I feel as if there must have been some mistake. I doubt very much that my testimony will be any use to you. I was in the ballroom most of the evening, you know. I didn't see anything important. Let us be the judge of that, Miss Searge. Please testify as to what you were up to last night. Oh boy, here we go. I want to get, as much as I'd like to stop here because I've been recording for like 30 minutes, I want to keep going. I want to finish this case. Doing my job. I was in the ballroom serving the guests that evening. I did take a break to cool off at around 7 p.m., but I returned to my duties shortly afterwards. Around 7:15 or so, I went to refill my cart in the kitchen. After that, I returned to the ballroom and stayed there until we heard the shot. When I heard the shot, I admit that I stayed put, as I didn't wish to come to any harm. I see, so you were doing your duties at the time. It was. Hardly a crime, I think. That seems rather mundane. It was. I can't imagine why I was called here just to discuss what I was up to. There is no one to verify that apart from the defendants. I think it's a fair assumption for now. Mr. Lamb was upstairs until Miss Searge saw him. You may begin your cross-examination, Miss Sykes. I am ready for this. I saw them. I was in the ballroom serving guests that evening. Hold it! What sorts of things were you doing? I was serving food, tidying up the tables, and doing dishes mostly. So, some of this seems a little bit out of the ordinary for a bellhop, doesn't it? Wouldn't you usually be greeting guests and helping with their luggage, that sort of thing? Yes, but Mr. Lord didn't want to hire a new person just for this event. He asked me to serve the guests at the ball while the other bellhops covered the rest of my usual duties. I suppose I acted as a server as well as a bellhop, but I don't mind. It's part of my job description. I'm pretty sure it's not, but I wouldn't put it past a guy like Lord to be stingy about hiring extra help. And that's what you did all night? Almost all night, yes. Around 7 p.m. Around 7 p.m. Wait. But I remember Al's testimony saying that he saw her around 7:15. And what was she doing then? Okay, wait, I'm just gonna press her on this, just to be sure. You took a break at 7 p.m.? Did you go outside? As a matter of fact, I did. I wanted to walk around to cool off. It was below freezing that night. You weren't cold? It's quite hot from the ballroom. So many people were there, I needed to cool down. I was there that night. It was a bit warm, yes, but it was hardly hot enough to sweat. That may be true, but I had to stay on my feet and keep moving around to serve people. I'm sensitive to heat, so I would be happy to jump into a pit of snow after a night like that. Many people were dancing, yet I didn't see anyone working up a sweat. As I said, I am sensitive to heat. I can hardly think that is suspicious. I don't recall any of us implying that your being hot was suspicious. Is there something you like to admit? Admit? You aren't expecting me to admit to a crime, are you? I assure you I did nothing illegal. It is not a crime to cool off after a long shift. I am entitled to breaks, you know. Naturally, but Athena Sykes brings up a good point. It was extremely cold outside. I believe it was in the single digits Fahrenheit. Few would want to be outside in such weather. Well, I've had some issues with hot flashes, I'm afraid. Are you seeing a doctor? You're too young to be having hot flashes. I'm diabetic. They are a side effect of my medication. I'll be happy to show you my prescription so you can verify it. Maybe later. Did you see anyone out there? As a matter of fact, I saw Miss Barry. Though at the time, her presence wasn't all that suspicious. Oh, she's good. She must have guessed we knew about the shooter being outside. You saw Regina, did you? What was she doing? She darted behind the building when I looked over. She dresses rather conspicuously, so I can tell it was her. Did you happen to see anything else? No. I try not to meddle with other people's affairs. I'm not sure if I can prove Regina wasn't outside, so I'll have to drop it for now. At around 7:15 or so, I went to refill my cart in the kitchen. That doesn't sound right. I thought the food was being catered. Why did you refill your cart in the kitchen? I noticed that there weren't enough napkins, so I went to remedy that. Alright, fair enough. Did you happen to see Mr. Barn there? I'm afraid not. We must have just missed each other. Why didn't you notice the gas leak? I'm a bellhop, not a plumber. I didn't notice it. And you didn't smell anything? No, it must have been a recent leak. Guess it is possible she would have missed that. After that, I returned to the ballroom and stayed there until we heard the gunshot. You stayed in the ballroom, you say? Yes, I was standing in the back and keep an eye on the guests. I didn't see you there. A good bellhop keeps herself scarce unless she's needed. At least that is my philosophy. But really, there wasn't much to do. It wasn't a rowdy crowd. Just a room full of responsible adults. There was one child there. Yeah, Chip Delight. You didn't see him? Think about it, yes. But he wasn't causing trouble or making messes. He was with his parents the whole time. They probably kept him in line. Figures the one time you want a kid to do something disruptive when he's the most well-behaved. Yeah, I thought we had something for a second there. When I heard the shot, I admit that I stayed put. I didn't want to come to any harm. You stayed put? I'm not a police officer and I don't carry a weapon. It would have been unwise to get involved. You said that it sounded like it came from the lounge. That is where the shot originated from, isn't it? It was, but why did you announce it? I was fearful for my life. I wanted the members of the law enforcement present to act. I thought in the confusion that they might have been distracted with the crowd control. And you stayed put during the commotion? Yes, if I remember correctly. I did not follow the crowd to the lounge, if that's where you're wondering. Why didn't you? I was frightened, and I figured I might be needed to help clean up. Really? There's a shooting and you were thinking about cleaning up? I suppose we all deal with crisis differently. That's odd. You put your life on the line to do your job? Why not? I put my life on the line at my job all the time. Please tell me you know that's the exception to the rule. You did it too. You could have been executed in Kurain. And I regularly question my own judgment. I would have evacuated, I believe, if I believed my life would be threatened. But I wanted to be available if needed. Weird, but not impossible. I think we've heard enough testimony. It certainly sounds like Miss Sears was present in the ballroom. She has an excuse for everything, and all of it is pretty reasonable. She's obviously come up with a good cover story. Did you need me for anything else, or may I go? I'm quite eager to return to my work. Miss Sykes, I don't see any reason to keep her on the stand. So unless you can prove your theory, I have to dismiss her. Well, Miss Sykes, now's your chance. I wouldn't squander this opportunity if I were you. That's about as obvious an olive branch as I'm going to get from her. I've been very tolerant and open-minded, but this trial cannot go on further. I may ask your witness one more question. If it doesn't glean any new information, I'm ending the trial now. Oh, just one chance, huh? I have to think carefully about this. What question would lead us to the most information? I like to ask this when she was outside in the kitchen in the ballroom. think outside is the most logical one, but that's a bit too obvious. If I look at the court record, here we go. Gavin's testimony. Patience. Yeah, because Connie was all the way back here. Transcript. Yeah, Connie did say something like that. It said it sounded like it came from the lounge. I guess we probably ask her in the ballroom. Didn't she just explain that she was doing what she was doing in the ballroom? She was describing what she was doing, not what everyone else was doing. Alright, I suppose that warrants further testimony. Further testimony? Your Honor, this is ridiculous. I don't remember every single detail. I'm not expecting you to, but Miss Sykes is right. You should explain what you were doing in more detail. Very well then, I'm happy to serve you. Perhaps later I can make tea and cookies for everyone here. Oh, that sounds lovely. Not that I can be swayed by any delicious pastries, of course. It's a little unnerving how easy it is to tempt a judge with food. Witness testimony. Thank you for your service. When my break ended, most people had finished eating or were mingling. I was too busy cleaning up to pay close attention to what they were doing. When we heard the gunshot, everyone was in a panic. I didn't see anyone during the commotion. It was completely dark. I can imagine why you didn't see much. Of course not. I was far too busy to pay attention to things. A perfectly reasonable explanation for not remembering every detail, I believe. Reasonable as it is, there must be something I can use to crack the story wide open. You may begin your cross-examination, Miss Sykes. Here we go. Thank you for the service. Cross-examination. Hold it! So you were just walking amongst the crowd? Of course. I was keeping mostly to myself. The lighting was dim, so I'd be surprised if anyone remembered me specifically. That's true, the lighting was dim. People were talking to each other. There wasn't any real commotion. Do you want me to try and remember more? If you could, that'd be great. I wish I could help you, but I was too busy cleaning up to pay attention to what they were doing. Hold it! You were cleaning? I was picking up dishes and cleaning napkins off tables, that sort of thing. I tend to tune everyone out when I work. Okay, but you must have noticed someone. I saw you and your friends, of course. As you know, I did not stop to chat. And what were we doing? At the time, if I remember right, you were speaking to Miss Maya Fey. We did talk to Maya that night. True, so we can't really argue with her at that point. Yeah, but Maya was the host. Lots of people would have talked to her. You're right, that could be a lucky guess. Do you remember where you saw me? I don't recall. My memory isn't perfect. I bet she can use that excuse anytime she doesn't want to explain herself. I wonder what she would remember if she were there, but wouldn't if she weren't. When we heard the gunshot, everyone was in a panic. Hold it! Of course you were all in a panic. We just heard a gunshot. That's true. Our reactions were quite understandable. And you'd stay put in the ballroom? Yes, I did. I was too anxious to move. So did you see anyone after the gunshot? No. You see, I didn't see anyone during the commotion. It was completely dark. Oh, dark? Someone shut off the lights, of course. That made it impossible to see a single person. How could she have known that? Oh, that's my fault. Remember I said Penny was really upset that night? Miss Search came by and I mentioned she was really scared of the dark. I probably said something about the lights going on in the ballroom. Hey, it's okay. You were trying to help. I'm sure we can catch her on something else. Like you, I was quite frightened by the whole affair. I hope you will not ask me to continue to relive it. She hasn't rehearsed this part of her story, by the looks of things. That means we have the upper hand. We're close, I know it! When we break in, most people finish eating and mingling. Gunshot. Everyone was in a panic. I didn't see anyone during the commotion. It was completely dark. Wait. Wait a minute. Completely dark? Bit of a coffee connoisseur, so I heard, and a fellow attorney, his visor was glowing in the dark during the shooting when the lights went out. Godot, of course, Godot's visor, so the room wasn't completely dark. Miss Search, I have one clarifying question. A question? Yes, it should be perfectly simple. When the lights went out, did you look around the room? Well, of course I did. I was afraid if the shooter was nearby. So you looked around and saw absolutely nothing right after the lights went off. That is what I said. Is that what you said? You were very clear on that point. So let me ask you this. If you were looking around the room right after the shooting, why didn't you see Godot? What? Oh, this is ridiculous. Who is this Godot? Godot? That's your argument? Why in the world would she remember seeing the random guest among the crowd? Because his visor was glowing in the dark. Bright red light. Can't possibly miss it, especially if you were looking around. I was in a panic. You can't expect me to remember everything. Hang on a moment. Yes, I do remember that. I distinctly remember seeing a bright red light in a man's face. He must have missed it. He was probably too far away. Nice try, but we all remember him being on the left side of the room. Yeah, his visor was glowing. And where were you again? Oh, yes. Back of the room. And Godot was right here next to Emma, Clavier, and Gumshoe. So she had to have seen him. Right up in the left corner. In other words, you couldn't possibly have missed him. Well, right, maybe I wasn't paying attention, but that doesn't mean I wasn't there. Miss Search, I have to question your honesty here. Any one of us who was present would have mentioned Mr. Godot's visor. It was all any of us could see in the dark. You can't seriously be suggesting that I am a shooter based on that. Miss Mokarma, surely there are plenty of reasons I could have missed him. Don't look at me. I saw Godot's visor as well. All right. I wasn't looking around. I ran and hid. I was just embarrassed that I did something so cowardly. Where did you hide? I didn't see any hiding spots in the room. I hid under a table and curled into a little ball. There. All I've proven is that I fear for my life, as if I was the only one. I'm not buying it. Where were you really, Miss Search? Right, you had your fun, and that was quite a fair question. But that alone doesn't prove a thing. Of course it does! We all saw Godot's visor. You're right, we all saw it, but it's not nearly enough evidence. We all heard her call out. That's proof enough that she was there. As it stands, you haven't proven your point, only that she happens to have been not noticed. You're right, Miss Sykes. I agree that it was strange, but it's not solid proof. The jury may see differently, but there's more proof that she was there than she wasn't. Then we need more testimony. She's already answered all of your questions. I have no choice but to dismiss her. Wait, she changed her story. She said she hid when we heard the gunshot. That's a new testimony right there. It's not a new testimony, it's just changing one detail. No, the defense is correct. That is a change in testimony. Oh, I wasn't expecting her to take my side. Miss Sykes is right. I will grant her request. Fine, one more testimony, but then I must really be going back to work. Oh, dude, my throat is getting dry from reading all this. I wasn't paying attention. I was cleaning, so I wasn't paying attention to anyone was doing. Of course, I did see them mingling and dancing, but my mind was elsewhere. Once I was done, I went to the far side of the corner and swayed to the music. When we heard the gunshot, I was in chaos, but I didn't see anything because I went and hid under a table. So you were too busy cleaning to notice most people. Yes, I was. I had work to do. Indeed. I would be nearly impossible to prove you weren't there. Nearly impossible, but I know I can. You may begin your cross-examination. All right. Let's hope this is the one that breaks her. Please. Hold it! Cleaning dishes and stuff? Of course. Unless someone else is causing trouble, I don't usually pay attention to them. I thought I went over this last time. Humor me. What did you see? I saw a crowd. You can't expect me to remember every single person. No, but surely you can pick someone out in a crowd. You got to know them afterwards while doing your duties, didn't you? I was doing my job, so I didn't recognize them. In fact, the moment I got back from my break... Of course I did see them mingling and dancing, but my mind was elsewhere. Do you at least remember which people were grouped up together? Well, I know that you three were together. The D-Lights seemed preoccupied with each other. But I'm afraid I don't remember much off the top of my head. Shocking! The husband and wife with the same last name were together the whole time. Do you think it would jog your memory if we mentioned some people by name? Then you can prove you were there. I suppose you can give it a try. Is there anyone I can ask her about whereabouts so she wouldn't know? Ooh. I want to guess Miriam, but... It's like Miriam technically wasn't in the ball, was she? Okay, what about Francisca? She whipped up a frenzy when the gunshot rang out, I remember. Whipped up a frenzy, you say? Quiet before I whip you a mascara across your face. She would definitely have heard her through the wall. Is there anyone I can ask her about the whereabouts she wouldn't know? Wait, what about Maya Fey? The guest of honor herself? She was with Pearl Fey that evening. Objection! Bingo! Miss Search, that's not true. It's not? But I could have sworn. You could have sworn you saw them together. Why? Because they have the same last name? Think again, Miss Search. I didn't see them together all evening. My apologies. I saw them when they arrived together. Well, yeah, they arrived together, but... You're just making educated guesses based on the guest list. You can only say Apollo, Trucy, and I were together because we've been together this whole time. You can only say the D-Lights are together because they're signed on the guest list together. You tried the same thing with Maya and Pearl Fey, but it didn't work because they weren't together. You may have a semblance of a point, Athena Sykes. But your argument hinges on Connie-Artist's memory being flawless. You're expecting her to remember everyone in the ballroom simply because she saw them there? Do I need to explain how asinine that is? Well, no, you have a point. Then as it stands, you haven't proven Connie-Artist was absent from the ballroom. Nor has she provided specific enough details to prove that she was there. Have you given up, Athena Sykes? There's a way. I'm just not digging deep enough. No, I haven't given up. I believe we can break this standstill. How might that be? She said she was cleaning up after people. She would almost certainly have had to talk to someone. Now I bet that one person at the ballroom remembers seeing her in the ballroom. And with so many people in the ball, there's no way you can just chalk that up to just blending in the background. If Miss Search was talking to people to help them find the bathroom or offer them drinks, then someone had to remember talking to her, they would have seen her there when the gunshot rang out. But it was dark when the gunshot rang out. The lights were on before then. Just because she was speaking to people earlier during the ball doesn't mean she was next to anybody when the gunshot rang out. That wasn't speaking to anyone during the ball. That's a lie. I dare you to ask everyone there if they ever spoke to her or asked for her help. I bet they all say no. And even if we do this, all that proves that she skipped out on the job for some time. It does not prove she was absent when the gunshot sound was played. Still, if no one remembers seeing her at all, there's no way she was there. Did she not say herself that she swayed to the music in the corner of the room? Rather than mingle when she chose to take a quick break. Well, yeah, but no buts. Being in the ballroom does not necessarily imply she was surrounded by people. Clavier Gavin's testimony proves this. Do you not see how her voice came from one corner of the room that nobody else was in? That's exactly what I've been saying. She shouted from the secret passage to make it seem like she was in the corner of the room. Secret passage? You think I'd hidden a secret passage? What absolute rubbish. I didn't even know there was one. Yeah, right. I know you're lying about that. You shot my check and made everyone think it happened later. Then you yelled through the wall from the secret passage to give yourself an alibi. Dare you? I didn't know such a thing. Miss Athena Sykes, you've not proven this one bit. All you've proven is that service workers are underappreciated. And that Connie Serge skipped out on work for an hour or so before the gunshot was played. I want proof, not fantasy. You know it was her, Miss Von Karma. You know she's the killer. You know it. Why are you pushing back against all my arguments? Ask anyone at the ball and no one will mention seeing her. How is this justice? You're asking me about justice? You've got some nerve. I will not stand here and let an emotional little girl talk me into backing down. If I, Francisca Von Karma, will allow imperfect justice to be delivered, then injustice will surely slip through the cracks again. It was you who caused whose case ultimately ended the dark age of the law. You who has been under the tutelage of Phoenix Wright. I expected more from you, Miss Athena Sykes. Order! Both of you need to settle down. Athena, if you need a second, I can take it from here. No, if you take over from me, that just proves I can't handle it. I can't stand on my own if there's always someone holding my hand. You can do this, Athena. I know you can. I'm sorry for my outburst, Your Honor. Then you admit you don't have anything substantial. See, this theory that I killed Mr. Check is one big hallucination. What is this music? Dude, this music is freaking intimidating. I believe you're familiar with those, Miss Sykes. What did you just say? Your Honor, clearly Miss Sykes is in distress from the hallucinations she's been experiencing. Wait. How the hell would you know that? I do apologize for the inconvenience. You couldn't have known about that. Of course I could, Miss Sykes. You told me yesterday, remember? No, I didn't. Yes, you did. After you and your colleagues at the defense branch searched across the manor for proof of your delusion. I did see you doing that, you know. Wait. No, don't tell me that she... Oh my god. I think I know where this is going. I just need to be sure. You knew about what I saw because you created the illusion. You used the machines to make yourself a disguise and look like the Phantom. You did what? Me? Pretend to be Bobby Fulbright? A 6-foot-tall man? I don't think I could quite pass. Wait a second. That must have been Mr. Lord. Which means that singing I heard... As I said, Miss Sykes, I was in the ballroom when the gunshot rang out. I took a longer break than I should have, but I returned to where I was supposed to be. She was definitely involved. There's no question about it. I cannot let her go free for this. I had to get her on something. Anything. I don't care how tiny or inconsequential it might be. I make sure she goes down for it. The jury hasn't been called out to deliberate yet. I just need one more thing. One more thing I can catch her on. Something that proves that she wasn't there. Something that makes it obvious. Wait. That's it. If I could trip her up with this. Follow my lead. Your Honor, if you'll indulge me, I want to ask one more question. One question. I can end this with one question. Then I'll allow it. One question. Miss Search, I want you to tell me about someone's appearance, someone's movement, someone's voice. Someone's appearance, I'm thinking. Right, I can't use enter to select it. I don't follow. I need you to tell me about this person's appearance. Wait. I mean, the obvious thing to pick was Mr. Fulbright, right? Boss's daughter. She's a good friend of mine. She's a magician, and even though she scares me a little, I think she's great. Guess maybe Trucy? Sorry, you want me to describe Miss Wright's appearance? Remind me, Miss Serge, what color outfit was Trucy here wearing in the night of the ball? We definitely interacted with you that day because of property damage investigation. You should remember her outfit changing colors. That's your question? How very superficial. No, the defense makes a fair question. Miss Wright was wearing a different color. You said you saw her. Please prove it, Miss Serge. So then, what color was Miss Wright wearing on the night of the ball? Yeah, did you like the shade of green I chose? I thought it went really well with my gold earring. Trucy, you gave it away. Oh, shoot. Oh, I see what they're doing. Oh my, it seems Miss Trucy Wright has ruined your case. Oh well, did you like it, Miss Serge? I worked really hard on the color coordination. Wait, but we know for certain. I like that they're following the lead, right? Because wait, I can't change the evidence. Okay. Because I remember Clavier's testimony, she was wearing purple. Although I will say green does look really good on her. Yes, I thought the green and gold look suited you well. Oh, they're all smiling. Gotcha. Eh? Miss Searge, you just made a really big mistake. Sort of mistake. I said I liked the green outfit. Really? You liked my outfit? Wait, how did you... Well, I thought if you liked it so much, I might as well wear it again. It's... purple. Is that what you were going to say? As a matter of fact, it is. You can't do that! Oh, I didn't do anything. You're always welcome to correct my lovely assistant. So why didn't you? What's the matter? Cat got your tongue? Why, Miss Serge, how could you possibly have missed it? You mentioned that you saw her in the ballroom, didn't you? Well, I'm a little colorblind. Nice try, but the odds of that are pretty low. Only 0.5% of women are colorblind, after all, and that's 1 in 200. Can't believe that came up in 2 cases. If I did a nickel for every time that colorblindness came up in a case, I would have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice. Alright, well, it was hard to see colors. Yeah, I bet it was hard to see them from behind the wall. Just because I wasn't in the ballroom doesn't mean I was in a secret passageway. Really? Then maybe you can explain to me how your voice came from there? I didn't even know there was one. How do I know you're not just hallucinating again? I'm perfectly sane, Miss Search. Perfectly sane? You liar! You just admitted to seeing a dead body. Seeing a what? Just now, you said you saw a dead body. Oh, did we get a little mixed up, Miss Search? I can't blame you, seeing as you were involved in both incidents. But it wasn't the dead body I admitted to. It was the Phantom. I heard you talking about... Oh, really? You came back to the manor after clocking out? 7 a.m. to 3 p.m., right? That's when you said you'd be back. Oh, why come back in the middle of the night, Miss Search? Oh, she's sweating. She's sweating buckets. I'm sorry, what? I'm completely confused. What happened? I'll tell you what happened. Miss Search just proved that she's been in the secret passage. No, I didn't. Surely you mentioned... You didn't, because we never mentioned a thing about a fake body in there. And you were off duty when we found it. You know, this is rather unfortunate for you. Because I can't imagine how your voice came from where it did. Unless you were in the ballroom or a secret passage. And as it happened, that's exactly where the killer or accomplice happened to be. Miss Search, is this true? Just admit it, you were working with Mr. Lord. He was your accomplice, wasn't he? He was the one who moved the body first. Come on, we've proven it. Now where's Mr. Lord? What are you talking about? It seems like your accomplice double-crossed you and fled. Mr. Lord must have been the person who shut off the elevator. Well, Miss Search, are you ready to admit it? Oh wait, what's her freak out gonna be? I really want to see her freak out. If you still refuse to admit it, how about I prove it to you? For everything that happened, then you'll have to confess. Yes, I think that'll be very helpful. Closing argument. Oh, we're getting Danganronpa up in here. Double-crossed. Here's exactly what happened. Mike was bugging the manor and listened in on Mr. Lord's conversations. I like that these are little, like, digitally hand-drawn. That's so cute. Then, when he made the discovery of a lifetime, Mr. Lord was making forgeries. He probably confronted him about it, and I don't know what Mr. Lord told him to placate him. But that's when he and the culprit both plotted to kill him. They decided to do it during the ball, so they replaced the CDs with quieter copies. That would have been really easy to do. The CDs were lying there in Kevin's workshop. Then they set up the speaker and made sure it was all connected. Shortly after all that, Kevin's trial took place. They realized he'd been even the perfect fall guy as long as Regina was involved. So they focused on making sure he'd go down for the crime. First, they intercepted a note Kevin wrote to Regina and planted it in Mike's room. Then they had Mike meet with Mr. Lord in the lounge while everyone was at the ball. Mr. Lord put up a cleaning sign so he wouldn't be interrupted. I've been thinking an awful lot about how convenient that gas leak was, but Mr. Lord knew as a fact that Mr. Barton knew how to fix them. So I bet the culprit created the gas leaks right before Mr. Barton saw them outside. It was a perfect way to buy some time since he definitely noticed it. Though, that's just a guess. I can't actually prove it. When Mike was in the lounge to meet Mr. Lord at 7 p.m., the culprit was outside waiting for Mike to get into position. Once they knew they could get a clear shot without hitting Mr. Lord, they pulled the trigger. Since they had a silencer, I'm almost certain they used it then. They obviously planned for the possibility of the bullet going through Mike, because they got a second gun just in case. Mr. Lord moved the body into the secret passage and went back out. He moved the first painting over the bullet hole to try to hide it. Then he left the scene. The culprit entered the secret passage through the shed out back. They put Mike into position as soon as Mr. Barn did a security round. That's when they realized they needed to make it look like Mike had shot in self-defense. It was a bit late, so they quickly switched the silencer to the other gun and shot the wall into the passage. That was what Cody heard while he was in the bathroom. The accomplice grabbed the shell from that shot and placed it in the lounge. Then they switched the silencer back to the gun Mike was holding. And they quickly put the gun down in a place where Kevin and Regina would see it. They waited, watching from the wardrobe for them to arrive. When they did, culprit pressed the button to play the sound effect. They went to the secret passage and yelled through it so they'd be heard. They figured in the commotion, no one would notice that they weren't there. That's when everyone saw Kevin waving the gun around in front of Mike's body. They knew he'd do anything to protect Regina, even confess to murder. So they thought they were home free. And the person who planned this with Mr. Lord was the one who actually shot Mike is you! Connie-Artist. Of course, there's a lot more to this story, but I don't think the fake hallucinations are connected to Mike's murder. You planned those ahead of time, didn't you? Serge, if this is all true, you have a decision to make. This series of events is only possible if you and Mr. Lord work together. As it happens, he has fled, and so far we have been unable to find him. What's more, we only have the testimony of one witness that he was involved. It sounds as if you need an incentive, and I'm in position to provide you one. I would like to offer you a plea deal. Plea deal? Yes, that's a deal to plead guilty in exchange for a more lenient sentence. Plead guilty for this crime and tell us everything, including Mr. Lord's involvement. Otherwise, you'll be tried for this crime yourself, and that is a substantial risk. You could be looking at a death penalty, but I can get that taken off the table if you agree. Very well. I'll take it. Everything Miss Sykes said is true. Mr. Lord was creating forgeries. This matter is nothing but a front. Those hauntings, people were hearing him. Were people hearing him working in a secret passageway? He encouraged the rumors of it, of course. Okay, I know again it's weird, but I feel like I've heard this music before somewhere. I just can't put my finger on it. Unless it was in Phoenix Wright, I just don't know. He created an absurd, cartoonish persona so no one would take him seriously. Mike found out about all of this through listening to Mr. Lord's phone calls. Mr. Lord offered me a handsome sum of money to help him silence him. As for where he got the money, I don't know. But he did tell me that one of the stipulations would be creating the hallucinations. Someone paid him to discredit me? So that wasn't part of the plan with Mike? No, but he never told me who paid him to do it. Although he did tell me one thing. The person who paid him to do this is also the one behind the Phantom. And I don't mean Fulbright. He was a pawn. His disguises and surgeries were paid for by someone extremely wealthy. And Mr. Lord was the person who made the disguises the Phantom used. Create. He's a highly skilled artist for forgeries and disguises. He even made the clothes the Phantom used. Whoever put him up to this has got to be the person who paid him to kill my mother. That means This person wants to silence me too. But why not kill me? Why try and discredit me instead? Is there a reason they need me alive? And as for whatever Miss Wright meant when she said he shut off the elevator, if he's fled, he most certainly did it. So I would be caught and blamed entirely. I suppose he thought he was close to being caught himself. Because of Miss Andrews, no doubt. I have no connections to any of these people. I was offered $1 million to assist Mr. Lord's plan. $1 million? That's an obscene amount of money, even for this. No hitman I've come across charges anywhere near that much. Do you know how much Mr. Lord was paid? No, a lot more than that, no doubt. A rich person who wants me silenced? So much they're paying millions for it? Someone who wanted my mother dead in the Phantom Active? Could it be the same person who is after Mr. Edgeworth? 2 billionaires showing interest in Mr. Edgeworth and me at the same time? No, it can't be two. There's no way that it's a coincidence. I bet everything has to do with the Line Man. What's in the safe in the secret passage? I don't have access to that. I don't know what's in there. I've told you all you need to know. I'd like to be finished with this. I agree. It's time for the trial to come to a close. The jury will be sent to deliberate. Damn, we're doing 1 hour special of this video, guys. Over an hour long. After short deliberation, the jury has reached a verdict. It is unanimous. The court finds the defendants Kevin Lamb and Regina Berry not guilty. Let's go. Oh. Court is adjourned. Let's go. December 26, 7:53 p.m. District Court Defendant's Lobby. Lena, you did it! Hey, I'm happy to Kevin, easy on the ribs here! Sorry, I forget how big I am sometimes. But you deserve a victory hug. Ooh, I appreciate it. That was a journey and a half. We're free to be together, Kevy! All thanks to these 3. Oh wait, 4! I really appreciate you going to bat for Regina and me, Simon. Well, I couldn't imagine either of you as killers. I was merely on the side of justice in the end. This guy is so modest. He never takes credit for anything. But you haven't changed one bit, Simon. You're just as nice as you were in prison. Yes, well, you haven't changed either, Kevin. Man, I've missed you loads. We should hang out more often. Yeah, you should. You worked so hard for us. I don't know how to thank you. Just doing our job, Regina. Helping people is what we're all about. Max was right. You all are the best. You got him back. You got Kevin back. I feel like we just won the lottery. I'm shaking. You sure you're not from nerves? I'm sorry I had to be so hard on you. Experience worse on the stand. I still need to ask Felix about that. Thena, you were fantastic. I'm really proud of you for stepping up and taking control of the situation. Especially around Francisca. She's tough, but you still did it. Without getting whipped, too. That sounds nice. I'm impressed, Athena Sykes. It seems you were a worthy opponent. I'm sorry I flipped out at you. Blah, I can't read. Sorry I flipped out on you back there. It was really immature. Well, I have quite a bit of experience as an immature attorney, so I understand. You were right, though. I needed to prove it. Speaking of which, I must confess that I was not as mature as I should have been. Calling Adrian Andrews to the stand was the right decision. Seeing Apollo's conviction reminded me of why I did this in the first place. Is that way of you apologizing for whipping me? I didn't say you always make the right decision. But in all honesty, you are both capable attorneys. And I am proud to be the first prosecutor to best you, Athena Sykes. I have a feeling I'll be the only one for quite some time. Thanks, I think. Why aren't you this nice to me? We still have a score to settle, Phoenix Wright. I'm glad to see not too much has changed. Likewise, it means I still have a chance to best you. May I have a quick moment of your time? And yours as well, Mr. Blackwell. Sure you can. You look as white as a sheet. What is on your mind? I assume we came to the same conclusion during the trial. If you mean I thought the Kestrels might be involved with the Phantom, yes. But something is bothering me about that theory. Bothering you? Suring it is Kestrel, surely it would relate to the Line Man. But our connection to each other is superficial. We have a friend in common, and until last night we barely spoke to one another. So if this is a part of the Kestrel's plan, why involve you? It's something to do with one of your past cases, right? Wasn't that why Mr. Grossberg was murdered? Bleh. I'm gonna try saying that 5 times fast. It was, but it's clear that Kestrel wants you out of the way, and his plan failed. But that is not the only reason I want to talk to you. It's not? There's something else you need to know. Something very important. What? Dr. Entist is dead. What? Dead? He died in prison about a month ago. Heart attack, or so they say. But I suspect Kestrel must have gotten to him. You think he killed Entist for getting caught? Actually, Entist could have negotiated his sentence if he told us what he knew about Kestrel. I don't think Kestrel would have wanted to risk it. Was there a line or anything to indicate it was him? No, because it's not connected to the lineman murders. He only leaves targets when it pertains to the target. He leaves lines when it pertains to the target. Believe me, it's not the first time we suspected him of an unrelated murder. But that's all it is now. Speculation. Why didn't you tell me before? The police have been trying to keep this from the press. But this directly relates to your case. The one with Dr. Tomy? No, this one. It was Entist's fingerprints Emma found in the secret passage. What? Then that proves it. Kestrel was behind the Phantom. But if he was willing to kill Dr. Entist, why not kill me too? If Lord was working with him, he could have killed me in my sleep. He had access to my room. I don't like this one bit. We're missing a piece of the puzzle. There's a reason he's doing this. If we could just figure it out. I agree. We're missing something important. Athena, if you think of anything that might be relevant, I'll tell you right away. You need to be careful. I don't know why Kestrel didn't kill you this time. But he is more than ruthless enough to do so. The anniversary of my father's death is 2 days. That's almost certain to result in another victim. So I need you to promise me that you will stay safe. You don't think that he will target you next? You were involved in the UR1. It was a past case, which puts you in far more danger. It's obvious to me that whatever Kestrel's planning, you are going to be a nuisance to him. So promise me you will stay safe as much as you can. Of course, I promise. And I'm assuming I was summoned to ensure she keeps her promise. I don't need a babysitter. Of course not. What you need is a bodyguard. Ah. So you nominated me, have you? Given your history, who better? I dare say your employer will give you your flexibility to make that happen. What do you think, Athena? I think it's something Kestrel would be expecting us to do. True, and I too am involved in a past case of yours, during which you expressed your willingness to protect her until death. I've hired rather tight security for Kurin Village. So long as she doesn't leave, she should be safe. But after the ceremonies, it would put my mind at ease if you would keep her safe. I can certainly do that. Yeah, of course. Thank you. Now, I believe it is time to celebrate your victory. He's right. We're both potential targets. What's more, we're both involved in UR1 and with the Phantom. You don't think we're part of his plan, do you? We're either part of it, or he wants to make sure we're not. Either way, Edward is right. You need a bodyguard. You know, I really don't mind this arrangement. It'd be nice to spend more time with you. Athena, Simon, there you are. Come on, Roy Rogers is on me. Yeah, of course, Kevin. I knew it was all connected. I was sure of it. But if you'd given me 1,000 guesses, I still would have never guessed the truth. That case is one I think about a lot. Because it was right before. I wish I could go back. I wish I knew what I know now. I could have changed it. Could I have changed it? Or was it fate? Perhaps it was always meant to happen this way. I just wish I'd been better prepared before it did. What is she talking about, though? My entire life, I've always been able to hear the cries of people's hearts. And I've always been empathetic, sometimes to a fault. I often feel like I'm prying into things I'm not supposed to know. Because people keep their feelings hidden for a reason. Aw, little frenzy. Sometimes the brightest smiles hide in the deepest pain. I can tell when laughter is used to mask tears. Or when expression of shock is concealing hidden guilt. But even though this helps me as a lawyer, I can't close an eye and choose to ignore them. And sometimes I want nothing more than to break from the hearing those cries. Looking back, I wish I hadn't ignored the feelings in my gut that something was wrong. Because what I was going to hear in only a few more days would shatter far more than just my heart. Wait, what? Wait, what? You're just gonna end it like that? Oh, you're kidding! No way! Dude, that was something else. Dude, my God, my throat is sore from reading all that. My goodness. But damn, that was a way to end this case. Oh yeah, we got the bonus stuff. I can't tell you how relieved I am to have Kevin back. I told him I didn't want to overwork him on his first day back. He said he was so bored in jail he couldn't wait to work again. With Mr. Lord missing, I've been put in charge of the entire manor. I know I can handle it. I just need to take a few deep breaths and try not to freak out. That's not too hard, is it? I think she can do it. No, I won't tell you why I did what I did. But I don't regret a thing. You do it too if you knew what I knew. My sentence isn't too long. Be out of here by the end of March. I've got to get back to doing what I do best, digging up dirt. If there's one thing that I've learned at this job, it's that everyone's got skeletons in their closet. And busting them open for the world to see is what the fib is all about. Ooh. Yeah, I figured there was something fishy going on here. That I know that much about this stuff, you know. Wasn't crazy about that Mike guy, but I'm sorry that it happened to him. He didn't seem all too bad, bit standoffish like. But I'm glad he tried to do the right thing in the end. Reminds me of that saying, no good deed goes unpunished. I suppose there's some truth to that, isn't there? Hey, Mike's sister came by earlier today to get his stuff. She was really upset. She kept saying she didn't have a room for it. She offered it to me. I said she didn't have to, but she insisted I take all of it. Man, I could go through this stuff for days. I don't even know what it all does. Mike invented all the spy doohickeys himself. I didn't really have any use for them, so I offered them to that Emma lady. She said the police could really use technology like this. I'm going to keep a couple little things to figure out how they work. I'll be busy for ages. Can't wait to start tinkering. Whoa! It really is great to be back. I've missed all of this. In Kurain, everything's gotten really organized, so there aren't many surprises. Don't tell Trucy I said this, but I kind of like having cases come out of the blue once in a while. Although speaking of which, I really wish I trusted Athena when she said she was seeing things. I'd hate to think I messed up our friendship too much. I hope she's not too mad at me. But from now on, I'm going to trust her no matter what. I won't let her down again. Aww. You do that, Apollo. You do that, my boy. I finally got to do a case with Dini, and it was a big one, too. I'm definitely going to have to tag along with her and Polly more often. Polly being back makes everything 1,000 times better. I've missed him so much. I mean, who else are Dini and I going to drive absolute crazy? But I do kind of want to take a case with just Polly, like the old times. I'm sure there'll be an opportunity one day. Heavy and I are finally free to be together. He is the sweetest, cutest, most wonderful person in the world. I'm so lucky to be with him. He means the world to me. I can't believe the prosecutor thought I would make him a good scapegoat or something like that. I suppose she was doing her job, so I can't be too upset. Still, it was awfully rude of her. But all of that is in the past, and Kevy and I are going to live a long, happy life together. That was a case and a half. I'm glad Trucy and I are in Kurain now. I feel like I came out of it with way more questions than answers. I'm kind of upset that the UR got brought up again. Sometimes it feels like it revolves around me. We must be getting closer to the truth. I just hope I don't regret finding out. You know, it's funny how finding out the truth can actually lead you to a messier situation. I guess that's why they say ignorance is bliss, isn't it? I guess so too. Don't get me wrong, I am pleased to put that case behind me. And I certainly hope I've never seen the last of Kevin Lamb. I've seen last of Kevin Lamb, but I don't want to get my hopes up. Please do not interpret my cheerful mood as a mean that I enjoy losing. I have lost a case or two since my case with Phoenix Wright, but that's only because I was perfect. I presented the perfect case and asked exactly what I needed in order to find the truth. Perfect justice, that's what I seek. All the better to result in my perfect victory. I'm so excited for the master ceremonies to commence. I mean, we've been planning this for a long time. It feels like forever. Of course, I was surprised to become master ages ago, but that didn't work out. I've been through a rough time, and then Nick got disbarred, and I couldn't just up and leave him then. So Karain didn't really have a master. I suppose I wasn't all that different from before. But now, I'm almost 30. I'm way more grown up. I'm finally ready. Now that you're out of jail, remember what I told you, Kevin. Don't drop the soap. He's still... Okay, yes, I did tell you that, but that doesn't apply outside of prison. Now I'm trusting you to stay out of trouble. Do you think you can avoid prison again? I won't let you down, Simon. I'll be on the straight and narrow from now on. Good. That's what I like to hear from you. Man, we haven't done anything in forever. We're gonna have to hang out more. I've got a free afternoon. I suppose that now is a good time as any to catch up with an old friend. Great. So when I got out of prison, my dog was so excited. You remember him? And right, Lucky? That was that Pitbull or Golden Retriever? Both. She's a mix, and she tackled me so hard I smacked my head in the floor. Next thing I remember, I was in an ambulance. Of course you were. We left some health art thing. Oh, okay. And introducing the reduction babies? Huh? Wait. So cute. And Emma. Oh, look at them. They're so adorable. Sarcastic pasta, you made yet another masterpiece of a case. I ain't gonna lie. Oh, my throat. Okay, wait, is there... Oh, is there more? Wait. December 29th, 4:01 p.m. Blossom Springs Elementary School. I take it this isn't good news. No, it's not. Another body has been discovered. Oh god, that's Danganronpa-ish. A body has been discovered. Wait, are we playing as Edgeworth? Another body? You don't mean? Unfortunately, I do. The lineman has taken another victim. This one's very strange. As far as I can tell, you've never been involved in a case here. No, I haven't. I imagine my connection to this place would be nigh impossible to find now. You mean you do have a connection? I do. Nearly 3 decades ago, I was a student here. You were? Hey, I haven't seen you in a long time. Then this is the school you attended when... Yes, my father's murder occurred during that time. Is she familiar with you? Her name was Audrey Schoolfield, age 60. The face is vaguely familiar, but I don't recognize the name at all. Yes, I agree. She was married by any... Was she married by any chance? Close. She was divorced, but kept her married name. Maiden name was Orson. Miss Orson! That's... She was our teacher. That's kind of an obscure connection. I thought the victims had to do with past cases. This one does. But you've never prosecuted a case against her. She's never even been a witness in any of your trials. This was more unofficial, although my memories are hazy. Mine aren't. I remember it like it was yesterday. I was the defendant. And I, the defense attorney, in a manner of speaking. What happened? It doesn't look it, but this school used to be pretty small. So every month, kids would bring in an envelope with money for lunch from home. But one month, Edward's envelope disappeared with $38 still inside. The envelope had been stolen during PE class. I was coming down with a cold, so I'd skipped PE that day. I was the only one not in class, so everyone thought I'd done it. Even Miss Orson. The next day, she set up a class trial. Yeah, I remember that. Maybe she thought she was being fair, but all the kids started bullying me and she did nothing to stop them. I couldn't stop crying. I felt like no one was on my side. To be honest, I didn't even think this was Phoenix when I first played Ace Attorney game. I thought this was Larry. I don't know, I guess spiky hair sort of gives it away that it's Phoenix. Now that you mention it, I do vaguely remember this. I spoke up, didn't I? You did. I still remember everything you said word for word. Objection. He shouldn't have to apologize. The only thing that belongs in this trial is evidence. Anything else is no place. You should all be ashamed. Amateurs. Miles? Yeah, that I remember. It wasn't you who stole my money, was it? No. Then you shouldn't apologize. Everyone's been shouting you did it, but no one has any proof. That is why, Your Honor, this boy is innocent. That sounds exactly like you, Miles. Perhaps it does now, but I went through a rather dark time after that. Wright was the one who set me back on the, well, right path. That's a great story, but it also possesses a huge problem. Problem? How did the lineman know what happened? I imagine there's a record or two lying around. Something connecting me to this school must exist somewhere. No, there isn't. I find that rather hard to believe. There must be something. Actually, that's not possible, because the school burned down in 2004. What? Burned down? Then the records would have all been destroyed. They were all lost. There isn't a record connecting you or even Wright to this place. Believe me, we checked. We couldn't find a single record from before 2004. There was quite literally no way for the lineman to have known this story. Not one? None whatsoever, unless you or Phoenix have told it to him directly. The only person I've told the story is Maya. But I refuse to entertain that possibility. Agreed. That would be absurd. It's just like the last time with Prosecutor Williamson. You weren't on the force yet, but it was like this when Prosecutor Lyons too. The lineman knew stories, even they barely remembered. One of the victims opposed Williamson in a mock trial while he was in college in 1989. He didn't remember a thing about her, but that was their only tie. To this day, none of us has any idea how he found out about it. Lyons didn't have anything quite that obscure. All of it was previous cases. It just goes to show what kinds of things money like that can buy. That also confirms that the lineman knows about me, as I believe he is the one who tried to discredit Athena. I have to agree. Although I still cannot figure out why he would want to pay millions to make her look insane. Actually, we're all but certain Lord was connected to Kestrel. Because it was Dr. Entist's fingerprints we found in the secret passage. What? Entist? But that means... Yes, Entist is dead. Dead? Died a month ago. Heart attack. No one saw it coming. What was Dr. Entist doing at the Maryland Manor? Kestrel. It must be how they're connected. He died before Mike was killed, before Lord vanished, so he has nothing to do with that. But I'd say that's enough to confirm it. Kestrel was behind the Phantom. Why mess with Athena now? She must know something that she doesn't want getting out. Or she's connected to him or you in a way that we don't know about just yet. She is technically speaking. If he was behind the Phantom, he ordered her mother's murder. If he wanted her out of the way, why discredit her? Why not just kill her to silence her? Maybe he wants Athena for something else. Something else? You said he plays mind games, right? Maybe one of them involves her. She's connected to Phoenix, and you're friends with him. Has he done things pertaining to friends of friends before? No, never. Something tells me that's not it. Psychopaths are known for having a very set MO. Phantom killed his victims the way he believes their victims were killed. The killer always leaves a card at the scene. If he's behind the situation, with Athena, it's something specific to her. Or perhaps it connects to his reasons for ignoring Wright. That's true. I still haven't been threatened. which is why I believe you and Maya were right. He intends to have you killed. That's possible. The Lineman's finale has always started with a murder. Always of a close friend or relative of the target. Phoenix would match that description perfectly. Williamson's brother was the first victim, and the grand finale. His son Joseph. With Lyons, it was a lifelong best friend first, and then Piper Lyons, his wife. I remember that vividly. Always two victims then. The first one is likely me, but the second is almost certain to be one of us four. Dude, this is going way deeper than I ever remember Phoenix Wright going. That's the power of fan games for you. It may not be enough, but we need to double down on security. How will we know when the finale begins? Is there any warning? We have a theory that he takes one more victim every build-up. With Lyons, 2 more people were murdered before the finale. As I recall, 3 people were murdered before Williamson's finale, weren't they? So it's possible we're going to see 4 murders this time. 2 more victims. For the time being, we can assume that to be the case. There's no way to truly know how many people he intends to kill before getting painfully personal. Emma, there's one more thing I need to know about this most recent murder. How long had Audrey Schofield been dead before she was found? About a day. As I suspected. The very day of the DL6 incident. He certainly did his homework. Wait a second, Phoenix, you said the amount of stolen money was $38, right? Yes, like I said, I remember it like it was yesterday. That would explain it. Explain what? We found exactly $38 in cash scattered over the body. We thought it was weird. Given the lineman's potential fixation on the number 4, we wondered if he miscounted. It would seem that he wanted to ensure we knew it wasn't coincidental. How strange. A combination of DL6 and the lunch money incident. Grossberg, his murder mirrored Mia Fey's, didn't it? Miss Schofield, I don't believe she had any connection to DL6. No, but it did happen the same year. Perhaps that's significant. What day was Mr. Grossberg murdered? Do you remember? October 20th. Is that significant? It might be. Wait a second. October 20th? Wasn't that the last day of the Will Powers case? You may be right. That case was very significant, especially the end. But 10 years ago, we did a whole lot, didn't we? In April, right? We did. 4 victims, the 4th month. I think we can reasonably expect the finale to occur in April. But you're the 3rd target. You're saying there may be one we don't know about? That's been a theory that's been going around, and the precinct since Williamson. As far as I know, if there weren't a first target, we never found out about it. That's assuming your theory is correct. Psychopaths like him don't exactly operate on the same logic we do. We can only guess at this point. But I certainly will be looking into the possibility of another target. If there were a first target, we may not have come up with this entire procedure yet. That just makes it all the more difficult to catch him. Difficult, but not impossible. After all, he'd have been at his most inexperienced. He may have made a mistake. If you can remember anyone in your class at the time of the class trial, let me know. It's a long shot, but we can look into people who were present at the time as well. I mean, there was Larry, but I can't imagine him being a serial killer. Larry, a serial killer? He's a lot of things, but homicidal isn't one of them. Although, now that I'm thinking about it, didn't Larry write a children's book on the incident? Yes, I think it was called The Lunch Money Bandit. Oh yeah, I read that one to my daughter. He made changes to it. The main characters were girls and the amount was stolen wasn't even 40. It wasn't a class trial either. It was more like of a detective story. It's how I explain to my daughter what I do all day, you know? Solve mysteries. I think we can rule it out then. I doubt the lineman would have made the connection. No, it was likely someone else in the class. There was about 20 others there. I can't remember all their names, and with the records gone, it may be a lost cause. But the fact that Kestrel was able to find out so much information, we'll catch him. We've all got your back. Just ask us if you need anything, even if it's just a hug. Truly, I don't know how I would handle this without all of you. And I will do everything in my power to ensure that none of you will fall to this sick bastard. This ends with me. Dude, this is something. Oh, wow, okay, and it just kicks me out here. Okay. Well, yeah. That just about does it. That was the twin turnabout. Well then, I think I'm gonna go ahead and leave this video here for now. This is becoming a very good fan game so far. I can't wait to see what the devs do next. So, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Be sure to leave a like, comment what you think, share this video with your friends, and be sure to subscribe, click the bell so you don't miss a single notification. I'll see all of you in the next video. Goodbye.
You say you wanna try, but you never